Problems, frustrations, they lead to answers. And those answers help you level up, and you never know how you're going to use those answers in the future.
People, I think, want to believe that they can improve their life without any pain, without any suffering, without any frustration. It's really not true. When the frustration gets great enough, you will change.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. Happy Wednesday. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode. It was last week's live podcast, Overcoming Imposter Syndrome and Self-Doubt. Today, for episode number 884, we are going to talk about how running from frustration is hurting you. Alan, you wanted to do this episode. I will let you lead this dance.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Welcome. Yes.
Happy Monday. In
Wednesday.
This case, Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday.
Classic.
So, what I want to give to the listeners on this episode, my intention, is that I want you to feel a little bit more okay with the fact that frustration is a part of life, especially if you're trying to achieve great things. So no matter who you are, whether you're trying to achieve the physique of your dreams, or an extraordinary relationship, or an extraordinary business, or life on your own terms, or you're trying to get a promotion, if you have dreams and goals, which if you're listening to this show, you certainly do, or at least you're creating them, and you're aspiring to become better, I want you to understand that from a biological perspective, Stephen Kotler talks about how frustration is a part of it. He uses this awesome analogy where he says, I've written 14 books, 2 of which are still hidden away in a sock drawer, never to see the light of day, 12 of which have been published globally. And never once, I've been writing for 35 years, never once have I finished a book without having at least some point during the writing of that book where I am crying, punching the floor in the fetal position. And what he's trying to help everyone understand in this book, The Art of Impossible, that's where I'm getting this story from, is that frustration is par for the course. If you don't know what par for the course means, it means when you're golfing, it's just part of it. It's part of the process. And I think we tell ourselves a story, and I've seen a lot of this in the personal development industry as well, where it's like, no, everything's supposed to be easy-go-lucky, and you're not supposed to have to stress too much. Have you ever heard you can achieve your dreams without much stress? I just don't know if that's true. I don't believe that's true. Here's what I wanted to share with everyone. So I talk often about my beautiful girlfriend, Emilia, my future wife, Emilia. She's incredible. And the reason I talk about her is because her example is such a prime example of not only what's possible, but what comes with it. So Emilia has a full-time job at a company called Alkermes. They're a global pharmaceutical company. I think they're based in Ireland. Seems like an unbelievable company. She works in IT there, so she's in IT over there. She also started a podcast with me called the Conscious Couples Podcast. Thanks to Next Level Podcast Solutions, we launched that today. Actually, as we're recording this, it's Valentine's Day. It's Monday right now. And so that is out. First episode's out. Thank you so much, NLPS team. Then she also has fitness goals, huge fitness goals. She has Evolve Ventures, which is her podcast with Bianca and her, and that's sort of her main train, so to speak. Main train, never said that before.
I like it.
So fitness, full-time job, 40 hours a week, family. She has a amazing family that loves quality time with one another. She's very close with her family. I was in the kitchen earlier today, and she was on the phone with her mom FaceTiming for Valentine's Day. It was awesome. So family, fitness, financial goals, Alkermes full-time job, the Conscious Couples Podcast, Evolve Ventures, and then we also have Tucker, and we run a household now together. The amount of hats that this incredible human being wears, Emilia, is unbelievable. Genuinely blows me away. Hardest working person I know. Now, that said, I want to be transparent about something. I'm also extremely hardworking. I wear many hats as well. I have extremely high goals and aspirations. And if you listen to this show, you do too. Or at least you're creating them. Here's what I want to tell you. This is the lesson. Frustration is a requirement. Can you imagine all those things Emilia does and her never having that moment of just like sheer overwhelm and frustration? See, frolicking in nature and frolicking on the beach and going on vacations and the beautiful Instagram-worthy photos, yes, those are all a part of it, okay? Not every moment is stress. Not every moment is overwhelm. Not every moment is frustration. Genuinely, Emilia and I have such a magnificent life. Kevin has a magnificent life, and we take nothing from that, okay? We're very fulfilled. But we would be lying to you if there wasn't moments of just pure and utter brutal frustration. Frustrated with the team, frustrated with myself, frustrated with just the business and things not going well, and frustrated with things not getting done on time and missing deadlines, and it's Sunday and we want to get all these things done and we only end up getting half of them done. Frustration is a part of achievement. If you want to achieve great things, you are going to sometimes be frustrated. Frustrated is an emotion that comes to us when we want to achieve X and we're hitting walls. And you've heard that analogy. When you're in front of a boulder, you can go under it, you can go around it, you can find a way to move it, you can climb over it, but that's innovation in this analogy. So you're never going to reach this fairy tale land of it's all, oh, once I get this home, then it's going to be good. Oh, once I get to $10,000 a month, then it's going to be good. Oh, once we get this next team member, it's going to be good. It's a constant and never-ending improvement process where hopefully over time you can achieve more and more and more and maximize the quality of your life through the innovation that comes as a byproduct of frustration. Kevin and I are really good at failing forward. When we fail forward, the failure creates frustration, and the frustration creates innovation. And that is why we now can produce 7 episodes a week, whereas in the beginning, it was nothing but sheer frustration for Kevin to audio edit and upload even just one episode.
I've if you listen to this podcast, if you watch us, you know that I'm a huge fan of Shark Tank. One of the things that always happens when when the people are coming in pitching to the sharks is they say, yeah, one day I was doing blank and I thought to myself, there has to be a better way. I was so frustrated. It took me so long. I was so frustrated that it was so difficult. And oftentimes, more often than not, necessity comes before invention. You have to be frustrated. That creates a necessity, and that necessity then creates that big reason for you to do what you're doing. I remember when Alan and I first went so we were podcasting in his sister's room, then we went to podcast in his mom's basement. Then COVID happened, so Alan and I started podcasting from home, and it was probably, 6 months into COVID, and I remember we had the conversation of, hey, it's time for us to get a studio. Right now, there's a lot of places that are for rent because a lot of people aren't working from these commercial buildings, so let's go do it. And we got our first studio together, and I was so obsessed with making it look absolutely perfect. It started with the wall, and I was thinking to myself, we need something else. There has to be something else. And then it was 2 side tables, and I said, I don't know, I'm just very frustrated. It doesn't come across as the studio that I want it to. And then I got us lights, and then we mounted a TV, and then we got the salt lamp, and then we changed the angle of the chairs. And I remember after we were fully set up in terms of the way it looked visually, I remember listening, and I said, it's too echoey. There's way too much of an echo. We have to figure this out. And we went and got these giant curtains, and we got a carpet that helped us with the echo. And after the echo, there was too much static because one of the plugs we were using wasn't wired correctly, so it was a whole thing. The point I'm making is now you see Alan and I, and we have nice microphones and we have nice home offices. All of the improvements we have made came from pure frustration. Now, there's a lot of problems that Alan and I had that I can help people skip. Because I was so frustrated that I had to find an answer. You don't have to be frustrated for as long as I was. And that's an important thing too. If you have a frustration and you find a way to solve it, that can become your thing. And that's a whole nother thing. But problems, frustrations, they lead to answers. And those answers help you level up, and you never know how you're going to use those answers in the future. Here we are almost 900 episodes in, we get to podcast from home, and we have an idea of the microphone, you set it up this way, this is what the backdrop should look like, this is what the lighting should look like. If we just started this podcast today, we wouldn't have any of this because there would have been no reason for us to come up with it. I think of it like this, Alan. Back in the day, people had to take horses or they had to carry heavy stuff, and they thought, okay, what if I create something that makes this easier? It must have been unreasonably frustrating having to carry stuff. So they came up with a wheelbarrow. They come up with wheels. They came up with a train. They came up with planes. They came up with cars. Every single thing we have is because of necessity. And the things that we don't have yet are because people probably haven't been frustrated enough. And that's one of the reasons so many new things are coming out now. Go ahead.
Hi everyone, I just wanted to take a moment and discuss my experience with Your World Within Live and encourage you all to go to Next Level Live that is coming up next month. I definitely was scared out of my mind. It was the first time meeting just about everybody there, and I had only been coaching with Kevin and only I had met him virtually. I ended up staying with another member of the Next Level Nation, and just it really propelled my experience forward and has really given me the growth opportunities and the abilities to be where I am today. It's also opened the doors for me to be on the Next Level University team, and I just really can't say enough about these full immersion experiences. So I encourage you to buy your ticket for Next Level Live. I can't wait to see all of your guys' feedback and watch all of you guys experience what I got to experience a couple of years ago. Thanks guys, bye.
One of the reasons I don't interrupt Kevin as much as I used to is because of how frustrated he used to get. No, seriously, here's the main quote, the main takeaway. There's a formula. It's very simple. I say, turn your frustration into fascination, and then your fascination into innovation. Frustration is a negative emotion that we all don't want. And I think this is why people lower their goals. One of the reasons is because they don't want to be stressed out all the time. It's a lot of stress to... Emilia and I woke up yesterday on Sunday and we had we're launching a podcast, right? It sounds awesome to launch a podcast, but Kevin, you know, how much goes into that? It's like wild. It's super frustrating. And luckily the NLPS team made that unreasonably easy for us, but we had to set up the whole studio and we had to take the lights out of here and bring them in there. We had to get a new power strip. We had to use this mic arm and then different mics. It was a whole thing. Figure out how to use her camera, make sure the audio syncs up properly. It sounds awesome to say we launched a podcast on Valentine's Day, the Conscious Couples Podcast, and it is awesome. But it's very different climbing that mountain than being at the top of it saying, come listen to our show. You know, it's very important to understand that it was that formula. Frustration turns into fascination, turns into innovation. Frustration catalyzes fascination and curiosity. So next time you get frustrated, instead of being like, you know what, it's not worth it. I'm just not going to go to the gym because I get so frustrated when it's so crowded. Okay, maybe go at a different time. Get curious. Okay, why is it always so crowded? Oh, okay, it's because people are getting out of work at 5 p.m. and they're all there at 6 or so. So, okay, let me turn that into innovation. Well, what if I went at 9? What if I got some R&R in with my intimate partner and then I went at 9 and I could get a quicker workout in because then the machines that I want wouldn't be taken at that time? There's always a better way. Maybe there's not a right answer or a wrong answer, but what I do know for certain is that there is a better answer. There's always a better camera or a better angle or a better way to communicate. And the frustration, this is why I love failing forward. Failure creates frustration. Frustration creates fascination. Fascination creates innovation. The first iPhone came out in 2007. If I compared that to this iPhone 12, it wouldn't be close. Why? Because there's, 14 years of innovations between then and now? 15 years almost? That iPhone barely even had any of the features that this one has. Right now, I'm frustrated that I can't unread my iMessages. When that frustration gets great enough and enough people comment to Apple and say, oh my God, why can't I unread my iMessages? Apple will do something about it. And that's just par for the course. So people, I think, want to believe that they can improve their life without any pain, without any suffering, without any frustration. It's really not true. When the frustration gets great enough, you will change. Super quick story, Kev. I'll never forget this. I was in bed with my earplugs in, reading a book, and I put on Peaceful Piano and or the playlist Deep Sleep on Spotify before bed. And we have an Alexa in our bathroom and in our kitchen. And so I just talked to Alexa, hey, Alexa, play Deep Sleep on Spotify. I'm sitting there and I'm listening to Deep Sleep for like the first 3 or 4 milliseconds, not milliseconds, Mississippi. All of a sudden it changes to this like pump up workout music. And I realized, I didn't know this at the time, Emilia's in the gym and it's connected to her Spotify account. Mm. And so I'm like, hey, Alexa, play Deep Sleep on Spotify. And then it changed back to her gym music. And we kept going back and forth with it. And then she was messing with me and she put on Kale Pak Bubba Spox. And like, it was funny. But I'm trying to go to bed, right? And so we eventually got frustrated enough to where now we're going to figure out how to put my Spotify account on that Alexa so that I can switch accounts. Without the challenge of that moment and the frustration of me trying to go to bed while she's trying to work out, we probably would never change that. There's no necessity.
You need it. You need it. I think that people, when you're on shows, Alan, I'm sure people say this all the time. Like, well, how did you go from this to this? Or how did you get up to 7 episodes a week? Or how did you, whatever it may be. And the deepest answer always is we were either uncomfortable, we were disappointed, we were in pain, we were frustrated. There was enough necessity for us to do something to change. If you're frustrated and you don't change anything, you're going to remain frustrated or you're going to leave the room completely. And then you're never going to go back to that thing. And I think that's a tragedy for a lot of people because, like Alan said in the beginning, a lot of people are saying it's supposed to be easy. It's supposed to just work. It's supposed to just be aligned. It's supposed to be smooth. And it can get smoother as you go, but there's always going to be some conflict. There always has to be some resistance. Even genuinely, I am frustrated currently in this moment in time, in this moment in reality, that these microphones aren't as bassy as our old microphones. I am genuinely frustrated, and I don't know what I'm going to do about it yet, but I have been thinking of, do I like this audio as much as I like the old audio? I don't know. There's way less static, but I'm frustrated that we may be giving up something else in that. So that's something I'm dealing with right now that I'm thinking of, and I will make some sort of progress on. I don't know what it is yet, but I think it's okay to be frustrated. It is. It's okay to be overwhelmed. It's okay to be stressed. It's more about what you do with it than you feeling it in the first place. I think that is an important distinction. Next level, nation. If you feel like you are the only person in your life who believes in your dreams, your goals, if you're afraid to tell other people what you want out of life, if you don't feel like you have a supportive community around you, click the link in the show notes below and you will be taken to our totally free, private Facebook group where you can be yourself and you don't have to worry about people judging you. Very easy to get into. Again, totally free and totally private.
If you've been frustrated at all that our plugs are long, we're going to be really quick on this one. Okay, so Next Level Live is coming up March 26th. I know you know that. We're mid-February right now. If you're already kind of wondering why your goals aren't being achieved, or maybe you set a resolution and you're not doing it. I recently started fitness coaching someone and she's in the gym every single day now. And it's amazing what can happen when you get around next level people. That's what this person did. She hired a fitness coach to get around someone who was going to the gym consistently, who can hold her accountable to go to the gym consistently. And now she's tracking her weight. She's tracking her calories. She is every single day tracking her progress in the actual gym. She's sending me a photo every day in the gym. Next Level Live, I used to believe that it was possible to have a next level life without getting around next level people. I no longer believe that that's a thing. From all of the evidence that I have from all the clients and all the people we interview, it's not a thing. If you are afraid that 2022 is going to be the same as 2021, get in this room. It's $97. Grab a friend, grab 2 tickets, and just come to this event. Have faith that this being around next level people will change your life. If you want 2022 to be different, you have to do something different, and you've got to get your ticket immediately because we already have half of them sold.
And Alan and I went and toured the venue last week. Beautiful venue, parking is right under the hotel. You take a hotel, the hotel, you take an elevator right up and you're there. Super easy to get in, super easy to get out. And we have paid for all the parking. So the parking is totally free to all of our attendees. We want to make it as easy as humanly possible for you to get as much value as humanly possible. That is what we're all about at NLU. Tomorrow, for episode number 885, it is last week's live Q&A. Is there a relationship between imposter syndrome and burnout? As always, we appreciate you, grateful for each and every one of you. We couldn't do it without you. And at NLU, we do not have fans, we have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Please reach out